everyone, and welcome back to A's Corner, where we are the Circle Hub talking about The Circle, Season 2, Episode 4. And my name is Ashley, and I am the Vice President of the Hub Fan Club, just so you know. And I'm here with the cast favorite, April.
Hello, I'm April, and you will fear me the most.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
So, if you're the vice president, who's the president?
I don't know, but in the show somewhere they were talking about being the vice president of whatever, the circle or something. It's like, yeah.
I guess I missed that part.
Okay. Well, I forget where it was. It was later on, I think, in the episode. So we are going to go ahead and get started. And it starts off with Savannah. Which player do you trust the least? And we took some bets. We're always giving points away. We took some bets.
We did.
And so who was the player that Savannah trusts the least?
Tara Alicia.
Tara Alicia. That means we can award points to April, AA, Michaela. Sorry,
I do
Sky.
want to mention that Sky and Michaela will not be with us today, as you can tell. They are out having fun without us.
They're having a different kind of fun instead of talking the circle with us.
Yes.
So she does say Tara Alicia, and she says Tara Alicia says one thing but does another. Like she went in when she said Tara Alicia and why. So I was curious to hear your thought on her reasoning for trusting Tara Alicia the less when she was the least, talking about saying one thing but doing another and all of that.
Well, in my opinion, I think she should have just stopped with Tara Alicia and not
Yeah.
went on and on and on and on. I don't understand why she had to put all the other stuff out there with all the other people watching and reading. I don't understand that. So,
Okay. Well, here's what I keep writing down, and I know I wrote this down and we talked about it last episode, is I just don't see that how different they are. So the fact that Savannah says she says one thing, does another, that's the same thing that they're saying that she did,
yeah.
right? So then Alicia is saying, oh no, it's the other way around, right? So, and then she responds with
You're cutting in and
hashtag.
out. Hey, when you're facing down, I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, let me move my notes then. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so then Tara Alicia responds with hashtag pathetic.
Yes. And it was a
So,
little pathetic. I mean, just drop it. We'll see where that got her later.
so then Savannah continues on with don't act like you didn't badmouth me. Hashtag I'm not a pushover. Um, I mean, this was going on. And then Courtney chimes in with Savannah, collect that win, right? So Savannah felt really good about I got the truth out there. Everybody knows what happened. Do we
Yep.
think well, I guess we're going to talk about this a little bit later on in the episode. But then the circle makes sure that everyone goes to bed. And lines are being drawn. So we start having some conversations.
Yes.
So Trevor privates Savannah, checking in on her and reassuring her that he has her back.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking sort of strategies, and really this is what we were talking about last episode about there's going to have to be some lines drawn.
Right.
And we thought that Trevor would pick Savannah over Tara Alicia, and which he made it
he
very clear
did. So
he would.
and I think that was a good conversation that they had going back and forth. I mean, I thought it when it was happening, maybe not by the end of the episode, but
one thing that Trevor did here, and he does it again in a little bit, is he does a good job of catching himself of saying something like men don't get into girl fights.
yes.
And he said that at this point, like he was like, men's not going to, I want to know, but men's not going to ask, so I'm not going to. And he does a good job of stopping himself, I think.
Yes, he does.
Compared to other women portraying themselves as men. So then Savannah starts talking, to the camera about checking in with the girls. She said Tara Alicia might have painted a bad picture. Let's alter this and show them her true colors. Wasn't that the name of Tara Alicia's group chat with Emily and Chloe?
True colors?
Something about true colors?
I don't remember that.
After the influencer thing, when Tara Alicia went to Emily and Chloe to tell them that Savannah did not want Chloe, the name of the chat was something like True Colors. So I thought it was very weird that they came up with the same. Now Savannah's talking about True Colors.
Maybe they're more alike than we know.
That's what I'm saying. And I keep writing on here, how are they different?
Yes.
So it cuts over to Tara Alicia, and Tara Alicia decides to private message Courtney.
Why?
Why?
I didn't understand why.
Knowing how hard Savannah fought for Courtney, why?
Exactly. I didn't get that whole.
And even knowing how hard Savannah was fighting for Courtney, the way that she started this message with Courtney was very I didn't like it. I don't like the way she started the chat. It also put him in a watching mode too, like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And
I don't know if maybe he was the only one, because if you're Tara Alicia and you're thinking, well, you have River, you've already talked to him, he's in your corner supposedly. You have the two girls, Emily and Chloe, supposedly. You can't get Savannah because that's the one you're trying to. Who else is there?
Yeah.
So maybe that was her thinking.
Yeah, but the way she goes about it, it was almost like a hee hee ha ha, let's chat.
Right.
And then goes straight into dissing on Savannah.
Yeah. She did that all wrong.
And how did she think that that was going to help win him over? If Savannah was as close to him as she was making it seem like in the influencer chat.
Right, right. And I don't know her thinking of what can I say to make him change his mind.
Right. Like it's almost like she went into it without any thought or plan.
Exactly.
On this at all.
Exactly.
So then I will tell you, so after their conversation, which does not, in my opinion, go well for Tara Alicia. But Courtney did make me smile after their conversation when he was fussing about her interrupting his yoga time. And he was like, girl, can't you see I'm trying to do the dang thing? He did.
I think he said something about the Zen zone. He was trying to.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote down.
Yes. He did make me smile.
Yeah.
So then we cut back over to Savannah, and Savannah does her private message to Emily and Chloe. And basically says her piece, which I like how she started it, right? With, I know you guys saw the tension. I know you know kind of what's going on. I want to tell you my side, like the truth, right?
Right.
And just like Emily says, or Jack says, there's this truth, and the real truth is probably somewhere in the middle. So he's like,
that's real life right there. That's not.
It sure is. But now we start seeing how it's being noticed, and somebody on here brought it up, and it might have been Skylar. But it's being noticed how Emily keeps responding very politically correct. And Chloe's like, no, you have to get involved. I'm going to force you into it. Weren't we having this conversation in a previous podcast
Well,
review?
let me tell you, it took 4 episodes, and Chloe finally did not get on my nerves.
Oh, really?
Just the way she was like, Emily, what are you doing? You know what? You know, tell the truth. Have a backbone. You know, tell us how you feel. You know, that I liked that. I mean, this is the first time I went, okay, maybe Chloe can bring something to the table instead of just her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. And yeah, Emily / Jack was just like very in the middle, like you said, politically correct. You got to choose a side and let somebody know what side you're on, or they're gonna let you go.
Yeah. And I just didn't like this conversation at all, right? Like Savannah's thinking she's getting what she needs to hear, but really there's no real confirmation of anything, right? It's just all telling her what she wants to hear. And then at this point, it cuts to Lance, who privates Trevor. And I don't know if this was the producer's way of trying to break up a Savannah and Terralisha episode, but they start out playing some basketball fun. First one to 21. Okay. Then Lance jumps in.
Let's go back to last week's episode where Courtney was getting all dressed and nobody's watching him. Nobody's watching you do the baskets. Are you hitting 21?
1 second. Hey, call your dad, please. Baby, this isn't mine. I don't know who this is. I don't know.
Hey, baby girl.
Okay. Call daddy. Bye. Okay.
We're going to have to pause it.
Okay. We're going to take a few minute break. We will be right back. Wait, can we even do that? Maybe not. So April has my niece, Miss Abaddon Faye, for the week, and Skylar and his wife and kids, and Michaela and her husband and kiddo took Abaddon with them, and they all went to have some fun at Six Flags. And it looks like they were just getting home. So that is why she had to step away. So, oh, look. Hi, Michaela. Look, see, here's Kayla.
Still not from the Bronx.
Kayla's still not from the Bronx.
Yeah, because
Hello, you want to play? Cool.
All right. I was explaining why we were taking a break.
We're back now.
But we're back now. Okay. So what were you were saying something about Lance and Trevor and basketball?
Nobody's watching them. Nobody knows.
Again.
Again.
It's another Courtney putting on clothes thing.
Yeah, I mean, she says, or Lance, he said, "Oh, I got 8." Trevor's like, okay. How does, you could have said you had 18, not 8.
Yeah, because what did she say? What is her name? Lisa?
Yeah,
So Lisa was like, I hope he doesn't, make fun of me because I only have 8 or think anything of the fact that I only had 8.
yeah,
So crazy. These people are crazy. But then Lance jumps in and just kind of goes for it, asking about what was he missing between Savannah and Terralicia.
yeah,
And so Trevor's first response is, "Come on, Lance, men don't get into girl fights." Right? So here's the second time in this one episode that he's like, "Come on now."
yep,
So
yep.
do we think that this is a clue that Trevor's picking up on to remember, like, what are you talking about, Lance? Men
Yeah,
don't get into girl fights.
yeah, yeah. And I like that he didn't say anything. I mean, nothing was.
And Lance tried, even
Yeah,
came back with something else.
yeah, yeah. So,
Whoops.
and then we had an alert.
Alert!
Beep,
Alert!
beep.
And it's rating time.
It's rating
Did you
time.
take the time to rate your people?
I did, and I was about even with what they had. I was a little off, but about even. I had Terralicia and Savannah both on the bottom, but switched. And my number 1 was actually number 2. So I had them about right.
See, we're like way different.
What was your rating? And why?
So my number 1 was Courtney. I just
My
like
number
his
1 was Emily.
And my number 2 was Trevor.
My number 2 was River.
My number 3 was Emily.
Mine was Chloe.
My number 4 was Terralicia.
Mine was Trevor.
My number 5 was Savannah.
Mine was Courtney.
My number 6 was Chloe.
6 was Terralicia.
My number 7 was River.
And Savannah.
My number 8 was Lance. I know we can't rate them, but I put them at the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know. So why are you hating on Terralicia and Savannah?
I just think they were going to be on the bottom because of what was going on.
Okay, so did you rate them based on what you thought was going to come up, or this is your feelings on the 8 people?
If I was in a room next to them and I'm getting all of this stuff, they're causing problems. I'm going to put them on the bottom.
Okay.
That was my thinking.
Okay.
And then Emily seems in my mind to be good with everybody. That's why I did her number 1.
Okay.
So that was just, and River hasn't done anything to anybody, so that's why I rated him number 2.
Got it. So when they went into rate, they could not rate Lance because he was too new.
Right.
And the top 2 will be the influencers for the circle.
Right.
So now Chloe, it cuts to Chloe private messaging River and Courtney. I thought this was a cute and fun little chat that they did. Right. I did laugh at I can definitely teach you some Texan because
Right.
I could definitely teach you some Texan. If you want some cornbread talk, we've got it.
I think we both got that Texan talk down. Fixing to.
Yeah, we're fixing to. So, okay, I'm going to ask this question, but I'm going to ask it a little bit further down. So then we get our alert. Alert, alert, alert. So here's the top 7 ranking. Okay. It starts out with number 7 is Tara Alicia.
I
Number
was not
6
surprised.
is Savannah.
Not surprised.
5 was Courtney.
That's why I had him. I actually did that one right.
4 was River. 3 was Trevor. 2 was Emily. 1 was Chloe.
Mm-hmm. And surprisingly, I was okay with Chloe.
Surprisingly, I was really hoping though that Trevor would be 1 or 2, because I'm just curious to see how he would interact with another influencer
Mm-hmm.
in trying to make this decision. So I really am curious. But I guess my thoughts on this is everybody would have had to rate Chloe pretty high for her to get the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't see anybody that has a beef with her at the moment.
right.
So
Maybe just Savannah, right? Her and Savannah. But I don't know if that's one-sided or not. You know, just because
Savannah probably rated. Can you rate for yourself? I don't think so.
no.
So Savannah probably did Courtney number 1, and then to make up for last week, Chloe number 2. I don't know if they showed it or not, but
No, they didn't.
or Trevor number 2, then Chloe. That's probably her ratings.
Okay. So it turns out Emily and Chloe are the influencers for this episode. And they must go and decide who to block. And they have to head to the hangout immediately. Like there was no other conversations being had. Did you watch this episode? Season 4? I mean, episode 4?
Skylar, we just said we're not rating ourselves.
So, so they head down, and another thing is, I feel like again, I don't know if this was the producers putting it together, but I thought it was so crazy how they sat down at the exact same time.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that was put
You
them
think that was the
together.
producers?
Yeah.
Okay, well, in my head, I was blown. I was mind blown.
Emoji.
Yes, the mind blown emoji. Okay, let me ask. Do you catch yourself talking in hashtags? I've caught myself all day, just random.
Seriously?
Yeah, so we were that chat with I think with you and Skylar when you were talking about Abby cheating, and then Skylar just was like, Abby said she didn't cheat, and I'm like, why are you even asking Abby? Hashtag snitches get stitches. And then at work, anyways, yes, I've been hashtagging, which is probably not something I should be doing because I feel like that's for the kiddos,
Right.
right? That's not me anymore. So
So Skylar says the producers want to blow your mind.
they're doing a good job. Doing a good job. Okay. So
So
they start.
Skylar, and Skylar's on here. Let's ask him what was his rating? Who was number 1? Did you rate him? But while we're waiting on that, what was you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna just start their conversation that they had. So
Ashley is extra.
what? Why?
Because your hashtags.
Oh.
So the first person they talked about was Emily. No,
No,
Trevor.
Trevor. So Chloe starts with talk to me about your feelings on Trevor. And Trevor is a no-go for Chloe. we're not getting rid of Trevor. It's not happening. Emily is really wanting Chloe to discuss first, and then taking whatever Chloe is saying, and then making his decision to either agree or disagree. But he's going to play this as safe as possible.
Oh, yes. And Chloe is noticing.
And it's frustrating her to no end. She's like, I don't want to make this decision by myself. You're not going to blame me for sending someone home because you didn't want to say anything.
Right.
Talk to me. But overall, between the two, Trevor is safe. We're fine with keeping Trevor. So then they're talking, and so here, I want to make a point. Chloe made a point to say, Trevor and I are good. Like, I've had good conversations. I know with me and Trevor, you're okay, Emily. Right?
Yes. So she's saying this girl gang that we have, we're in this girl gang, and I'm bringing in Trevor.
Yes. And I know for a fact I'm good enough with Trevor that you're going to be taken care of.
Yes.
Okay. So next on the hit list to talk about is Courtney. So while they're discussing Courtney, Chloe gets the okay to keep both Courtney and River. Yes. Okay, so it's automatically between Terralisha and Savannah.
Yes.
So at this point, Chloe is telling Emily, well, Courtney, River, and I, we're the three amigos. How do you say that? Did I sound like her?
You had that Texan accent. You didn't have the Essex accent.
So I will tell you, so at work, it's been just me and one other gentleman. And we were talking, and all of a sudden I was trying to talk British, right? And I was like, Tim, why do the British not pronounce their T's? And he was like, I don't know why. And I was like, because they drink them all. He was like, he started laughing. He's like, that's actually a good one. Because he's a huge tea drinker. Like, he's got like 3 levels of teas and 5 across. Like,
oh, that's so crazy. Funny. I love that joke.
I was doing a better job at my British accent than what I just did here. Because I'd been talking in that accent for probably 5 minutes. But anyway, so I used your joke and it won. I should get a point for being able to successfully pull that joke off.
But did you? We weren't there.
Since we're about giving points away.
So between Savannah and Terralisha.
Well, hold on. So Emily made a point too to say, okay, so you have Trevor and you have Courtney and River in your back pocket. Okay. So this is kind of in my opinion, it would have been a mental note for me.
Yeah. You have the girl gang, but then you have all these boys also. And once you get rid of Terralisha and Savannah, who goes next?
Yeah.
So
what were you going to say about Terralisha and Savannah?
Who are they going to fight for? No points for the bad accent per Skylar.
No, it was good when I did it. I'm not asking for the point for right now. I was asking for the point when I successfully did it.
So do you think that and I don't remember exactly what was said, but Emily was trying to make a point with Savannah staying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I don't know if we're going to say it worked or didn't work, but I remember her making that point.
I think Emily would have saved Savannah over Terralisha. But Emily's not playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
Emily is playing, what do you want? You know what I mean? The politically correct. And Chloe, once Chloe found out as soon as that influencer chat was over, that Savannah wasn't wanting to keep her, it was over for Savannah with Chloe at that point,
Right.
right? Like, so Chloe's that we'll hold a grudge, right? So there was just, I think Emily tried to make a play of, well, maybe we could, but I honestly didn't think that there was going to be any saving her with Chloe. And Emily's not going to stand up enough to keep her, like stand up
Right.
enough to sway her.
Right. I just like the point where she said if we keep her now, after what she did last week, she'll keep us longer in the game. But
Right.
like you said, he's not gonna, or she's not gonna fight for her.
Yeah. But then it cuts to Tara Alicia. And Tara Alicia thinks this is a good move. Let's private Savannah. And I wrote down that I thought this was a worthless chat.
Yes.
Why? Why did we do this?
Yeah.
So basically, Tara Alicia's saying, "You look, this is probably our last chance. One of us is going home. Most likely, this is our last chance to clear the air. Why did you say what you said?" And Savannah did what Savannah does, which is explain her part, but then said, "Look, if you're wanting to move on from this, we can squash this and let's move on," right? And immediately Tara Alicia leaves the chat. She's like, "No." I kind of really like that about Tara Alicia, though. That she didn't have time for that. We're gonna go back and forth, but I
Yeah.
still thought this was a worthless chat.
It really was.
So, alert, alert, alert. First of all, and then I wrote this down. So you can tell in this episode when my light bulbs go off because I go on a tangent in my notes. And I said, first of all, what happened? I know somebody's about to go home, and I'm pretty sure it's Tara Alicia or Savannah at this point. Because Trevor, Courtney, and River are all safe and we can't go Lance. What happened to Chloe and Emily and hashtag Girl Gang? Was hashtag Girl Gang over when Savannah didn't save Chloe? Because they kept bringing this up as we're hashtag Girl Gang. So why? Okay, April, why? Why are we deciding between two women to go home when there are three men?
Because
And Chloe immediately wanted to save all the boys.
Emily is not gonna fight for it. We've done
So why was
down
Chloe
the middle.
mad? Why was Chloe mad about Savannah saving a boy when at Chloe's first chance she's saving all three boys? Not even a discussion on one of
But
them.
would she have saved all three boys if things would have been different and she
Yes.
was saved last week?
Yes. Yes.
I
It's
mean,
Chloe.
yes, we know it wouldn't have been different because it's Chloe, but that's just the way. Would have it been different? Would she have saved one of them? Or was Savannah and Tara Alicia just at each other so much that they're just like, we got to get rid of one of them. Girl Gang is done.
So before they give the answer, strategically, are they making the right move getting rid of Tara Alicia or Savannah? Reason why I'm asking is, okay, I am a Big Brother fan. Okay. So this social experience type thing is very different with Big Brother than it is with this. But there are active threats in the house in Big Brother, and there are what you call floaters in Big Brother. Okay. And you can be either one and make it to the end, right? But in this game, if you're looking at this, Tara Alicia and Savannah they have made themselves big threats. They went from being at the top to being at the very bottom. So if I'm an influencer, am I strategically doing what's best for the circle So I'm going to get rid of one of these two when I can use my hashtag girl gang, right? I can, just like Emily said, I can play a little bit over here, I can play a little bit over here, and get rid of someone else who could possibly really be that floater, that silent, that dark horse, that threat. Like, are they making a smart move, or are they playing this truly on relationship emotions and not to win the game?
Well, I mean, that's a good question, because if you look at it the way I've looked at it, is they're both causing trouble. We need to get rid of one, and maybe the other one will calm down. Or like you're saying, let's get rid of River or Courtney or Trevor, because they're in the middle anyway.
Mm-hmm. Let Shirley and Savannah go after each other.
Yeah.
I'm not in it. It has nothing to do with me. We're sending one of them home. When it's our chance to do something for us, we're going to send one of them home doing the other person's dirty work.
Right. But between the two influencers, who's going to fight for that? Which one of them is going to fight for that?
So again,
Emily
we're back to Emily, but Chloe doesn't play like she's not playing strategically. Even though we saw a little bit today where she was like, come on now, Emily, give us your thoughts. I want you to do, it's not just me. Okay, that's a little bit of Chloe. Like, we can see her wheels are turning, and it's not just
they're
boy
just not
crazy.
turning fast enough.
And so, if this were me, those are the types of things that I would be thinking about. Like, why am I going to do someone else's dirty work? Who is really my biggest threat? Who is liked by everybody? And I mean, yes, Chloe liked everybody else, so Emily's got to have to fight that liking of. But I think if Emily tried and played the "but we're girls" card, I think could definitely have swayed Chloe to keep the girls and let's just get rid of a guy.
But then he wanted to be on the good side of Chloe, and she
just left it.
Yeah, and do you think it was strategic for Emily to be the one that announces it? He volunteered. You want me to tell him? You want me to do this? And then Chloe's just like, yeah,
I think so, because I thought that was a smart move for Emily to ask, would you want me to be the one to tell? Right? Because nobody wants to deliver bad news, because you don't want to be the person you're sending home who's blocked, their friends or the people they're close to now hate you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so that's Emily's way of showing Chloe, I can do this part. You want me to do it? I'll do it. And she's like, yes, do it.
Yeah. Now, do you think that was her male side coming out? Because a female would be like, I don't think I want to do this. Let's flip you know what I mean? Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
A true female, a true Emily, I don't think would have volunteered.
Right. Would have been like, okay, which one of us is going to do this?
Exactly. Like Terralicia and Savannah did last week.
Although Savannah said, why don't you do it? And then she's like, she's probably going to call me a biznatch. And Terralicia's like, you biznatch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So I will say though, I did like how Emily delivered the news. I think he said it as what's the right word I'm looking for? Politically correct.
You mean her normal way?
Yeah. I think he delivered it as soft as he could. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I think it also didn't make anybody feel some type of way about him.
Yeah.
Necessarily. And that's the goal. Like, if you're going to deliver this message, you want to make sure that they're not coming for you.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a good job. So, who did they block?
Well, do you think Tara Alicia and not Courtney, Savannah knew, like both of them knew it's going to be one of us?
Mm-hmm.
And do you think the three guys knew that?
I think the three guys were hoping it was
That-
one of them, but I don't think they knew
Yeah.
because, yeah, I don't think they did. I think they were all hoping.
So they sent home Savannah.
Savannah, oh man, Skylar loses a player.
Look at that. Skylar.
Savannah from Skylar's team.
Now, I have to say that I'm sort of glad they kept Tara Alicia over Savannah. Between the two, I was leaning more towards Tara Alicia.
I don't think I cared which one they kept.
I didn't
because
either, but
as I keep saying, they're playing the same game. They're doing it the same way. They're not any different.
yes.
But I do like how bold Tara Alicia is sometimes, right? Like, she's the one that's going to say what everybody's thinking.
Mhm.
And I like that. I like that in real life. IRL people.
Hashtag IRL.
Hashtag IRL. So I did write down, sorry, Skylar. So Skylar, if you're watching, my heart went out to you, but thankfully my players stayed. So sorry.
So Kayla was ready for the girl fight to end, which that's what goes back to the point I was making a while ago. I think they were just at it, and we don't know, was it 2 days, 1 day, 3 days? We don't know how long, a week that it was just happening. And I think they were just done with it. Just let's get rid of one of them. Maybe the other one will calm down,
For sure. So I also wrote down, do we think Lee's tears were fake this time too? Because he cried on this one.
Did he cry? I think I missed that.
Cried.
I guess I looked away.
I wrote down fake tears, Lee, fake tears.
Hashtag fake tears.
And then the crying face emoji. The long tears. So
and then
alert.
We need an alert button. She's going to go meet someone.
What's the significance of this someone?
Do you think that someone changed after they gave her the condition?
100%.
So if you was going to go meet someone before they gave her the condition, who do you think she would have went and met?
Actually, I thought she would still go and meet Courtney.
Okay.
I really don't think she was going to go to Tara Alicia.
Well, I was waffling back and forth between him and Courtney and Trevor.
Okay. And that's what Courtney was saying too, right?
Yes.
It was between me or you.
And then they gave the condition. Who do you think is going to win the game? And
do you think the producers did that so she would not go see Tara Alicia?
I don't think she was going to go see Tara Alicia either way.
I know. Do you think they thought she might though? Like it was an option. So let's make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, I don't think so, because I think what we're going to talk about next, which I thought was the interesting part, is the reason they had to add.
Oh yeah.
That condition. I don't think it had anything to do with make sure those two don't get together, because there's going to be some hair pulling.
Okay.
So
Savannah is tasked with going to meet the player who she believes deserves to win the game.
Yes.
And Do you think it's funny how they show everybody like getting nervous and getting ready for the door to open? I just think that's so funny every
Yeah,
time.
but they don't know
They don't know.
the condition.
Right. They don't.
So even Tara Alicia's like, you know, maybe she's gonna come visit me.
Yeah.
You know, and then Lance is like, heck, I'm a pop star. You know, of course.
Who wouldn't want to meet a pop star?
Exactly. You know, so I think, I think I'd be getting ready, and then Lee putting out some snacks. I thought that was cool.
Yes. We know he's a good host, right?
Yes, yes.
So she goes, knocks on the door, and enters and visits Courtney. And their interaction is everything that I have thought it would be. It's just like they interacted in the chats. It was 100% genuine, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
So the good thing about these little, you get to go visit someone, is you get to get some tidbits. Now, it doesn't mean that the person is telling you the truth, but we tend to take it every time like she's giving me facts. Like
Right.
she's here in front of me, I'm seeing her, I'm looking you in your eyes, I'm coming for you, Tara Alicia, and I'm coming for you, Chloe, right? But that's just something I thought about is we
I
have to
wrote
remember it's
down-
still a game.
I wrote down that Savannah was dishing the dirt on Emily.
Oh yeah, Emily, not Chloe, Emily.
Yeah, because she wrote in there, we're with it to the end, and look who's going home. Okay, give me just a few minutes. So, dishing the dirt on. So now Courtney is going to be against Tara Alicia, against Emily, probably against Chloe.
Even though they're part of the Three Amigos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because Emily and Chloe are best friends. They are BFFs. They made that known.
So yeah.
So Courtney gets an alert. Alert, alert, alert. And he has been granted, or he has unlocked access to the inner circle, and he must go immediately.
Now, was there an inner circle on season 1? Do we even know what that is?
Anybody? I didn't watch season 1. No.
Anybody?
Is anybody in the chat?
Skylar, Kayla? Anybody? Yeah. Season 1, inner circle. I mean, he acted like he didn't know what it was, and you figure if you're on season 2, you should have watched season 1. You know,
should have. Some of these people did not.
You know, so I don't know.
But again, he just makes me smile because he's like, what in the intergalactic world is this? Or something like that.
Exactly.
Because I was thinking to myself as he was doing that, I was like, the thing is, how many takes did it take for them to get that reaction? Do they do that? Because if I walked in, there's no way I'm coming up with some of these one-liners like that. Like, what in the intergalactic world spaceship am I sitting in? I can't do it. But if I go in and then I start thinking, like, oh, let me do this again. Let me replay.
Take 53.
I got this. And then I can come in with something good. But
yeah.
I'm not quick on my feet like that. So I am curious. I wrote down, I'm so curious. What does access to the inner circle mean?
What does that entail?
So I wonder, does he get to see maybe more pictures or more something of some of the other players? Does he get to see some chats?
I went along that line. I also thought maybe he gets to pick one person to get that from. You know, pick Tara Alicia. Let me see all her pictures. Let me, give me.
Let me read all her messages to the other players.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be everyone because that's just too much for one person. I was gonna say something and totally lost it.
Or I wonder if maybe he can be anonymous in sending something like a message, or I don't know, can pretend to be someone else and send a message to Tara Alicia or something. Like if he wanted to try to secretly gather some tea that he likes to drink.
Right, right. Oh, I remember earlier I said it took 4 episodes for me to even for Chloe not to get on my nerves. I mean, she did something that like, okay, maybe she's cool. It took 4 episodes for me to go, I want to watch the next one.
Mm.
So this episode to me was just, okay, what's happening? What's going on? Let's get the game rolling. So maybe the 3 was just setting it up. So Kayla is, I wonder if it is to see who others are chatting, maybe not what they are saying, but just who they talk to most. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just don't think that he would learn anything. Like it would make sense. I mean, Savannah already told him about the girl gang, how the girls got together. And isn't that who Tara Alicia talks to the most? Is Emily and Chloe? At least that's what I see in the chats, really, from what they show on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that would make sense. You're not really telling him anything new.
I still think it has something about you're going to pick one person to either see the pictures, talk to, maybe
Yeah.
meet. There's something with one
Well,
other
guess
person.
what? Guess what?
What?
I bet you, and we can take points on this. I bet you we find out the next episode.
I'll take that bet. I'll get that 1 point.
I get the 1 point. It was my bet. I came up with it.
So speaking of points, tell us the scoreboard.
Okay. Well, 1, Skylar is losing as far as teams go because Skylar only has 1 player currently. Everybody else has 2. Chloe. And so
Sorry, Skylar.
and then on points, okay, coming in second place, we have a 3-way tie. And that is Skylar, April, and Kayla. And in number 1 place so far with 3 points is your girl.
Are we
Me.
trusting? Are we
I'm the girl.
trusting you to keep score?
Yes, it's on my handy dandy notebook. It's on my board. Every day. I just come over and I'm just like, bam.
Okay, so with that said, we need to come up with inner circle. What is your? This is how we're going to gain our point next time.
If you're right, you get a point.
So mine is he gets to pick 1 player.
He gets to pick what?
1 player to interact with more than just a chat. Sketchy. Michaela is saying you're sketchy. Hashtag sketchy.
What? I didn't see that. Oh, I see it there. Oh, can y'all see that on the screen?
Yeah. Now.
Okay. More than a message.
So speaking of Michaela, what do you think the inner circle is? This is for your point next time. Or Ashley.
I'm going to say he gets to learn something new about 1 or more of the players that he wouldn't have been able to know before. So I'm putting AA. Gets to learn something new. Okay. I'm going to go with see who others are chatting with most. So that's Kayla. See who. I'm going to go with chatting with most. Okay. And I don't think Skylar's on. He hasn't said anything in a while. So if you're not on, you don't give an answer, you don't get a point. Is that right?
I agree.
Okay.
Unless we're all wrong. Unless all three of us are wrong, then he gets the point.
I don't like those odds.
Boom. Hashtag boom.
All right, he's got 1 in 4 chances. We all three have to be wrong. Okay, I'm fine with that. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. We'll be discussing episode 5, Sunday night, Monday night. I've got to change my other whiteboard. Why thumbs down, Kayla?
Can't do Sundays because of Yellowstone.
Okay. So we'll do Monday night, 8 o'clock. And then if you're watching this and you enjoy this, please subscribe. Give us a what's up. Come talk to us in the comments.
Hit the
We will
like button.
respond. Hit the like button. I was going to say, can you hit the dislike button? But I don't want you to do that.
No, don't hit the dislike button.
No, only hit the like button.
And just know that this is just the beginning for us.
We're working our kinks out, people.
Eventually, we'll be in the same season of something.
And we'll be good. We'll be good by the end.
Hashtag join our hub. I like it.
Love it. Love it. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Peace, love, and harmony.
See ya.
That's my harmony.
What is that?
Peace, love, harmony. And we fade out.
Peace out, babe. Bye.